Everybody, welcome to Dad Talk today. We are live in Washington, D.C. at CPAC 2020, and oh my God, we've got a great interview. Mr. David Webb, how you doing, my man?
How you doing? Are you America's top dad now, or?
Well, you know, man, there's not many people that's talking about it.
Well, we got top model, and that's fluff. Why do we have top dad, and that's good stuff?
It really is, man. We need to get dad back in the household, and I feel like that's an issue that's not being talked about too much.
Not enough, and not just being talked about, it needs to be acted on. So let me surprise people out there with this. You know, you hear this narrative that in the black community, for instance, and it's true by the numbers, there are a lot of dads that are absent and a lot of single moms. But where the dads are and where they're involved is where you find some of the most successful sectors of that group in America. And by the way, that's reflected in just about every other group in America if you want to do the demographic separation. So what does that say? It supports what you're doing with your show, because I looked you up. People give me a lot of stuff down there, and I looked you up, and it's important that the dad be in the picture, because it takes a man to raise a boy to be a man, and to teach him how to be a man where women are concerned. That dynamic is important. So wherever there are dads, there's more chance of success, because that mother-father dynamic is good for the girls and for the boys, and for how they learn to be together.
Well, you know, David, this is an issue that's affecting moms too. It's like an 80-20 issue though. But as a single dad, I was raising my daughters on my own for like 3 years. I was working, coming home, taking care of them, washing the clothes, doing the, you know, and I feel like, it's like, why are they not talking about our issues right now? I've got a daughter I haven't seen in a year and a half right now, and it's for no other reason but because I'm dad. And I feel like the family law courts are not listening to us and not giving us a fair shake.
So here's the other part of this. So we start with the basics, right? The two-parent dynamic. Then you have the blended families. Then you have the blended community around the child. For observationally, you live it, but I've seen it and talked about it to some degree on my show over the years, actually to a great degree, that you need to have that relationship between the two. The single dad works just as hard as the single mom, and that relationship is what's important. How do you get people back together? So I'll ask you the question. You say you haven't talked in a year and a half. What was it that caused that separation?
There is some parental alienation going on, and you know, at first, like, I really had a lot of hatred in my heart. Like, how can somebody do this to me? But I do believe it's mental health issues. We connected over our pain rather than, you know, love. And
so it's a hard foundation to build from, anger and pain, and that's a common human dynamic.
It really is. And I jumped in that relationship straight out of a divorce. I didn't heal myself, so I wasn't really guarded in seeing what was going on. And I think that the fact that 50% of marriages are ending up in divorce right now. Prevention is better than the cure. We've got to learn to communicate within our families so that divorce is not happening. And I would say the same thing with our nation. With a lot of the issues that we're seeing here, we need to learn to talk with each other rather than getting in a big all-out war.
You know, there's such an important point in this, that the hard topics, you know, the things that we don't want to talk about, they're uncomfortable, they're hurtful, they're painful. Those are the things you actually need to tackle in this world. And maybe part of it, and look, we've all had our personal things in life in general.
Right.
Sometimes we also have to say, you know what, I can't solve this one. Maybe I can solve it later, maybe I can, but I can't solve it. Accepting loss or the inability to solve something is also as important.
Right, and you got to do what you can, you know, as long as you're taking positive steps towards changing the future and not just standing in place. And I think when these issues are happening to us, they're so easy to dwell on. When you lose your family, when you lose your kids, that is like one of the biggest things that could ever happen to you, whether you're a mom or a dad. And I see a lot of people that get stuck in that healing process and that hurt. And instead of the healing is what I was trying to say. They're not really taking the steps necessary towards getting themselves out of that situation.
I love turning this around on the interview or something to do this to you.
All good.
All right, so let's work through some angles on this, and now some questions. Who do you feel, if you were to take the mom and the dad in that relationship and look at our society and who we are as people, who do you feel is missed the most? Is it one or the other, or are there different times within a child's life when you need that stronger male influence relative to learning how to function in society, or both? I mean, we've got the nurture argument, the nature argument. What do you think?
Well, you know what, my man, as a single dad, I think there is there is roles that a father plays into their children's life that a mother can never replace, and the same on the other side.
Yeah, exactly.
As that single father, I'm not anymore. I got married back in December, but I have my 13-year-old daughter that started her period, and that me and her are like best friends. She talks to me about everything, but this particular day,
Well, it's immensely personal to her, I would guess. So it's like, Daddy, well, I can never talk to Dad. But her girlfriend's at school, maybe. So this is what the conversation you and I are having is uncomfortable for many people watching. It is. The idea that we shouldn't talk about these things is what's missing in all of this, right at its nascent stage. And I haven't been through what you've been through, but I think we got to remember that it's the difficult conversations that are sometimes the most important.
right? Well, it's about these issues. Just because it's not happening to you right now doesn't mean it can't happen to you.
Yeah.
And we need to care about them before we start going through them so that we can start preventing some of them. And that's why I think events like we have right here are a great place to be talking about these issues. And it was an honor to be next to a booth where you are broadcasting, my man, because I have such tremendous respect for you. And I want to say thank you for everything that you do.
Well, I'm going to return that back to you. I have a question. See, I love it.
I love it.
This is where I get to turn it around on him. So you said you got married.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations, by the way. How did that play into that dynamic for your daughter?
It's been huge because I found out just how many issues they want to talk to a woman about other than the dad.
Maybe like the way a son wants to talk to his father.
Exact same way a son would like to talk to his father. And my wife, she has not overstepped in that role. She's not tried to be like, well, hey, I'm mom. She's made it a comfortable environment where if the girls want to talk to her, they can. And that's what they need.
Open the door, don't pull them into the room.
Open the door, not pull them into the room, and make them feel like, hey, you can talk to me about anything. Because I don't think enough parents are actually nurturing these relationships and communication with their kids nowadays. And that's important. That's important with your kids, and it's important in your relationship. And that's the reason that we're having this going on with kids and divorce.
Yeah, you're on it. You're on it.
And not too far from Georgia.
Keep it up. And to your daughter, listen to this, man. You're going to find out when you get older, your dad's a lot smarter than you thought he was. I did the same with my dad and my mom.
Did you?
They got a lot smarter as I got older.
I hear you, my man. Well, dude, thank you so much. That means a lot to be sitting here with you. It really does.
Same here. We're all in this.
All right, guys, stick around. We'll be right back.